Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rechak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of First Maccabees, the 13th chapter. Now when Simon heard that Tryphon had gathered together a great host to invade the land of Judea and destroy it, and saw that the people were in great trembling and fear, he went up to Jerusalem and gathered the people together, and gave them exhortation, saying, Ye yourselves know what great things I and my brethren and my father's house have done for the laws and the sanctuary, the battles also and troubles which we have seen. So all the hardships that we've gone through, that we did for Israel, by reason whereof all my brethren are slain for Israel's sake, and I am left alone. So Judas was dead, Eleazar was dead, John was dead, At this point, they think Jonathan is dead. Now, therefore, be it far from me that I should spare mine own life in any time of trouble, for I am no better than my brethren. So he said, I'm not just going to sit by and try to, keep myself safe as if my life is more precious than any of my brothers. Basically, as he says, I'm going to hazard my life. I'm going to take on that role, and if it befalls me like it befell them, so be it. But I'll fight for Israel. Doubtless I will avenge my nation and the sanctuary and our wives and our children, for all the heathen are gathered to destroy us of very malice. Now as soon as the people heard these words, their spirit revived. So now they had that confidence again. And they answered with a loud voice, saying, Thou shalt be our leader instead of Judas and Jonathan thy brother. So basically, you fill up their shoes now. Fight thou our battles, and whatsoever thou commandest us, that will we do. So then he gathered together all the men of war, and made haste to finish the walls of Jerusalem, and he fortified it round about. Also he sent Jonathan, the son of Absalom, and with him this is a different Jonathan, not his brother, a great power to Joppa, who casting out them that were therein, remained there in it. So they went and took it over. So Tryphon removed from Ptolemais with a great power to invade the land of Judea, and Jonathan was with him in ward, right, as a prisoner. So he hadn't killed Jonathan. But Simon pitched in tents in Adida over against the plain. Now when Tryphon knew that Simon was risen up instead of his brother Jonathan, and meant to join battle with him, he sent messengers unto him, saying, Whereas we have Jonathan thy brother in hold, so he's still alive, it is for money that he is owing unto the king's treasure concerning the business that was committed unto him. So he said, no, we took him prisoner because he owed money to the king. No, that's not why you took him prisoner. You took him prisoner because you want to kill him and usurp the throne. But obviously he wasn't going to tell Simon that. Wherefore now send 100 talents of silver and 2 of his sons for hostages, that when he is at liberty, he may not revolt from us, and we will let him go. So basically, you send the sons, you send the silver, so as security, so we know that once we release him, he ain't going to act dumb because we got his sons hostage. Hereupon Simon, albeit he perceived that they spake deceitfully unto them, or unto him, yet sent he the money and the children, lest peradventure he should procure to himself great hatred of the people, because he knew that it was all BS, but if he didn't do it, the people, would say, verse 18, who might have said, because I send him not the money and the children, therefore Jonathan is dead. So they'll blame him and say, look, you should have just sent the money and the children. He might have let Jonathan go, and so on. So he sent them the children and the 100 talents, howbeit Tryphon dissembled, meaning he turned back on his word. Neither would he let Jonathan go. After this came Tryphon to invade the land and destroy it, going round about by the way that leadeth unto Adorah. But Simon and his host marched against him in every place, wheresoever he went. So everywhere he tried to go, they would meet him. Now they that were in the tower sent messengers unto Tryphon, to the end that he should hasten his coming unto them by the wilderness, and send them victuals. So they're like, you got to hurry up and find a way to get in here, because we starving. Wherefore Tryphon made ready all his horsemen to come that night, but there fell a very great snow, by reason whereof he came not. So the weather was too bad. So he departed and came into the country of Gilead. And when he came near to Bascama, he slew Jonathan, who was buried there. So he ended up killing Jonathan. Afterward, Tryphon returned and went into his own land. Then sent Simon and took the bones of Jonathan his brother and buried them in Modin, the city of his fathers. And all Israel made great lamentation for him and bewailed him many days. Simon also built a monument upon the sepulchre of his father and his brethren, and raised it aloft to the site with hewn stone behind and before. So he built a monument for basically where his family, his father, his brethren were buried, like a memorial for them. Moreover, he set up 7 pyramids, one against another, for his father and his mother and his 4 brethren. And, and in these he made cunning devices, about the which he set great pillars, and upon the pillars he made all their armor for a perpetual memory, and by the armor ships carved, that they might be seen of all that sail in the sea. So he basically, upon these pyramids, made designs, right, of armor, armor and ships as a memorial for those passing by to know, like, that's where they buried the Hasmoneans, right, that had brought such a great deliverance in Israel. This is the sepulchre which he made at Modin, and it standeth yet unto this day. Now Tryphon dealt deceitfully with the young king Antiochus and slew him. So he went and carried out his plan, having slain Jonathan now. And he reigned in his stead and crowned himself king in Asia, and brought a great calamity upon the land. Then Simon built up the strongholds in Judea, and fenced them about with high towers, and great walls, and gates, and bars, and laid up victuals therein. So he basically, fortified it, so that if any enemies would come in against them, they would have they would be able to withstand sieges and so on. Moreover, Simon chose men and sent to King Demetrius, to the end he should give the land an immunity, because all that Tryphon did was to spoil. Because remember, it's still like a civil war kind of thing, right? Tryphon has part of the kingdom under his control. Demetrius, still has some that are on his side. But Tryphon, having slain Antiochus and now usurped the throne, he has a good portion of that Seleucid kingdom under his control. Unto whom King Demetrius answered and wrote after this manner. King Demetrius, unto Simon the high priest and friend of kings, as also unto the elders and nation of the Jews, sendeth greeting. This is Demetrius the second, Decatur. The golden crown and the scarlet robe which ye sent unto us we have received, and we are ready to make a steadfast peace with you, yea, and to write unto our officers to confirm the immunities which we have granted. And whatsoever covenants we have made with you shall stand, and the strongholds which ye have builded shall be your own. So you can keep those strongholds. As for any oversight or fault committed unto this day, we forgive it, and the crown tax also which ye owe us. And if there were any other tribute paid in Jerusalem, it shall be paid no more. So any faults, anything, any infractions, it's all forgiven. You still don't got to pay any more tax. And look, who are meet among you to be in our court. Let them be enrolled, and let there be peace betwixt us. Meaning, you can send men who are worthy to be in our court, so you can have a voice at our table, and we can ensure peace. Thus the yoke of the heathen was taken away from Israel in the 170th year. So we had that freedom off of that burden lifted up off of us. Then the people of Israel began to write in their instruments and contracts in the first year of Simon the high priest, the governor and leader of the Jews. In those days Simon camped against Gaza and besieged it round about. He made also an engine of war and set it by the city, and battered a certain tower and took it. And they that were in the engine leaped into the city, whereupon there was a great uproar in the city. So once they got access into the city, they basically started to take it over from within. And so much as the people of the city rent their clothes and climbed upon the walls with their wives and children, and cried with a loud voice, beseeching Simon to grant them peace. because they saw, damn, they've breached our defenses, and if we don't sue for peace, they're gonna kill us. And they said, deal not with us according to our wickedness, but according to thy mercy. So don't repay us according to our wickedness, but rather to your mercy. So Simon was appeased toward them and fought no more against them, but put them out of the city and cleansed the houses wherein the idols were, and so entered into it with songs and thanksgiving. Yea, he put all uncleanness out of it, and placed such men there as would keep the law, and made it stronger than it was before, and built therein a dwelling place for himself. So he made a place to stay. He basically made it holy again, and that way he could stay there and use it. They also of the tower in Jerusalem were kept so straight. So those that were in the fortress over there, they were basically going through it now. No food, no water. They were basically besieged, that they could neither come forth nor go into the country, nor buy nor sell. Wherefore they were in great distress for want of victuals, which is food, and a great number of them perished through famine. Then cried they to Simon, beseeching him to be at one with them, which thing he granted them. And when he had put them out from thence, he cleansed the tower from pollution. So they said, okay, you know what? This is too much. They decided, look, you let us out of here, we're not going to cause you any troubles. So he kicked them out of there and then took it over, and entered into it in the 23rd day of the second month, in the 150 or the 175th first year, with thanksgiving and branches of palm trees, and with harps and cymbals, and with viols and hymns and songs, because there was destroyed a great enemy out of Israel. Because those that were in that tower caused a lot of stress and damage to Israel. He ordained also that that day should be kept every year with gladness. Moreover, the hill of the temple that was by the tower he made stronger than it was, and there he dwelt himself with his company. And when Simon saw that John, his son, was a valiant man, which is John Hyrcanus the first, he made him captain of all the hosts, and he dwelt in Gazara. And that brings us to the end of the book of 1 Maccabees, the 13th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachak Wadash. And until next time, Shalom.